Alright, so we have the original design here, and I'll just move it over so you can see. Original design here, background, new design, or a new version of the old design. Alright, let's go to the second design here. If you notice, I've already copied it, and yes, I do have the live paint bucket already done. So if you want to see how that looks, I just simply go in with the live paint already done. Just go in and add my colors. You want to zoom in. There's two ways you can zoom in. You can marquee the area, which gives you a specific zoom in, or you can just click, it goes in. You can also use your command plus key, command minus to zoom out, option key on your keyboard. If you notice with the zoom tool, it changes to a minus, and then you click out. Or you can simply select on the artboard again and command 0. Alright, so live paint bucket, zoom in, zoom out. Okay. Next thing over here. The only thing that we're going to do for this particular one, I'm actually going to get rid of this whole thing, because this one was a simple one to create. What you're going to do is you're going to show a variation of stroke. So I'm going to go ahead and make my artwork first, and then I'll put my frame. So I want to make sure I'm on the right artboard. Okay. Let's get my artboards. Oh, they're up there. So this is, if you notice, is stroke with size. The other artboard, stroke with dashes. Okay, so I'll make my square here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from a thick stroke to a thin stroke, and then I'll do vice versa in the canvas so you can see how it looks. So if you're trying to change the stroke size, you simply change the point size here. I'll start with a 4. Then I'm going to smaller. If you notice, the tighter you get your object and you have a large stroke, you can see that it becomes bolder. So I'm going to take this one down to 1. Make sure that it's centered. Okay, and notice that what I just did, that's aligning my objects to the artboard. So I aligned it horizontally and vertically. So vertically, horizontally. If you don't see these icons anytime I'm giving a demonstration, you should see the word align. You will press the word align, and then you'll get a drop down menu. Okay? So now that we're here, remember the blending mode. Object, blend. Blend options, just to make sure. So right now it's in smooth color. I'm not working with color, I'm working with steps. And I have 8. And right now I'll put 20. Let's see how it looks. Press OK. Nothing happens when you change the blend options, because you're just setting the blend. When you go to Object, Blend, and Make, you're actually making the blend. See how cool that looks? You can do some optical illusions with creating this, and you can do it the opposite way, where your stroke is bolder in the inside and then goes to the outside. All right, so we have the original and we have the new design. Once again, if you're in the blend mode, it's a different step. If you're trying to add color, there's so much other stuff you have to go through, but I can go through that at another time, not right now. I want to go ahead and move to the next step. Alright, so now you have, if you look here, you have the background color. So that's because you have no color in the other spaces. So do that for me so that I can see your background color. Not going to see the background color here, but you can. So let's do that. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to actually put, I think I have blue, right? So I'm going to put no color. And you can actually apply none to your artwork. So now I can see my blue background. That way I know you actually have a background. So if you didn't do that in the first video, which you didn't because I didn't tell you to, but now I want you to go back and do it. Okay? And press escape. If you notice I have my background color in both. I want to look at this one again as far as color is concerned, because if you look here, if you use the live paint bucket tool, you don't see anything. So what you would have to do is go to object, and you want to go to blend, and you can go to expand. If you look at it now, it's expanded. If I go to live paint group, now notice I can actually change this to a live paint group. So let me go through that again. Since in blending mode, it reads it all as one piece of art that you created. So you want to break it apart. So you want to go to object, go to blend, and you want to expand it. When you expand it, it recognizes each stroke or each path. Path and stroke, or even just your object that you create, you'll see path appear sometimes when it's just one. If you notice right here, it says group. Go to the live paint bucket tool, click on it, and so now you can fill these with color. I don't want to go through that step again, but you know how to fill it with color. Since we're just going through the moving, you can just give me a color background. No color background because you already have orange for that one. Over here you didn't see the color because everything was filled. So I don't want you to have to go back there. Just here, you can just do every other space with color, and I'll see the white background, and that's fine. As long as I know that you guys understand how you can become more creative when you know what the application actually does. So I'm expecting some great work for your currency. Alright, so now we're here at the next design, which is here. A few more things here that you're introduced to. Let me close the windows here. I want that one. I don't want that one. Okay. If you notice, this one says stroke with arrowhead. And I also put warp tool in parentheses. Once again, making sure that it's a live paint object. Come over here. Focus in on this one. If you notice, I have arrowheads. And I'll come over here to simply show you how to do arrowheads without manipulating that. Once you have a stroke, you go back to your stroke panel. Notice here it says arrowheads. You can have an arrowhead, on both ends of your path or just one end of your path. You notice here I have a stroke on one end and then on another end and another stroke. So Here I'd start with the left arrowhead, and of course it goes to the left end of your stroke. I'll copy this. You can also reverse it by clicking here. Notice that? Reverse, reverse, reverse. If you want arrowheads on both ends, then you simply click on the right arrowhead and you have arrowheads on both ends. Okay, the next thing I did on this particular one is I did a little warp going on here, and yours doesn't have to be perfect. This is so that you can see what the warp tool does. So if we come over into our toolbar, we'll see warp. If we click on warp, you simply click hold drag, and that's pretty much it. And it gives you an opportunity to create an organic line, and you can do you can edit more than one line at a time. You just have to be careful because it affects the line differently depending on how far you drag down. So if you notice how far this drag is and how shallow this one is. So experiment with that, and you're going to give me wavy lines here. Okay? And once you get your wavy lines, I'm not going to require that you give me color, but I think it'll look neat if you could, because it takes a little more time. So if you want to do the color first, then copy it over here and then go inside of the isolation mode and then edit. You can do that too, so you have the same colors. Okay. I don't know how long this movie is right now, but I'm gonna stop here so that it doesn't get too long. And so that's making sure that you do your live paint group. Don't forget your background because it's there. I have mine. Let me see your color through your background, to your background, sorry. And you're just simply copying and pasting it to this side. Okay, so we notice I had 8 artboards. 8 artboards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and I'm going to end this movie, and I'm going to decide what I'm going to do for the last design. Getting tongue-tied here. Okay.